Magandang araw, ako si Sir Richard and welcome to another video of Basic Calculus. As for our reference, we are using the Calculus of a Single Variable 10th edition by Larson and Bruce. So the topic for today is Basic Differentiation Rules. So for the objectives, find the derivative of a function using the constant rule. We will also try to get the derivative using the power rule, and finally, the constant multiple rule. Also, we will try to get find the derivative of a function using the sum and difference rules, and find the derivative of sine function and cosine function. So to start, let's have the constant rule. Constant rule: the derivative of a function of a constant function is 0. That is, if c is a real number, then so in any constant value, the derivative of that number is always 0. So y is equal to 7. Ito yung mga functions, then ito yung derivative nila. So y is equal to 7 will be dy dx is equal to 0. F of x is 0, so f prime x is 0. S of t is negative 3, so s prime t is 0. And k pi squared, considering that k is a constant, so y prime is 0. Next, the power rule. We are not going to prove the power rule, so diretso tayo sa pinaka-theorem niya. So the derivative of x raised to n is n times x raised to n minus 1. So kung ano man yung variable niya, that will be the constant at babawasan natin ng isa. Base doon. So for f to be differentiable at x equals 0, n must be a number such that x raised to n minus 1 is defined on an interval containing 0. So another one, derivative of x is equals to 1. Actually, we still can consider the power rule in this setup. So x raised to 1 is actually x raised to 1. So kunin natin derivative. 1 times x is 1, x raised to 1 minus 1. So that will be 1 x raised to 0 or 1. So ayun nga, 1 nga siya. So the rule is consistent with the fact that the slope of the line y is equal to x is 1 as shown in this figure. So pag ginawa natin yung slope nito, we will find out na 1 din ang slope niya. Okay, so example, x cubed. So if we will try to get the derivative of x cubed, f of x equals to x cubed, kaya f prime x is equal to 3x squared. So x cubed, that will become 3x raised to 3 minus 1. So 3x squared, kaya yun na sila. Now, cube root of x, we will try to rewrite cube root, kaya that will become x raised to 1 over 3. So applying the derivative, so derivative of x raised to 1/3 is 1/3 x raised to 1/3. Then 1/3 x raised to 1 over 3 minus 1, or 1/3 x raised to 1 over 3 minus 3 over 3. That's why meron tayong 1 over 3 raised to negative 2 over 3. Ayun siya. So rewrite, since negative yung exponent, kaya 1 over 3 x raised to 2/3. Finally, we have 1 over x squared. So another one, rewrite din natin siya. So y will be 1x raised to negative 2. So since 1 naman nasa unahan, pwede natin disregard. Kaya derivative of x raised to negative 2. So exponent, multiply dun sa unahan, that will be negative 2. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Then rewrite, since negative yung exponent, negative 2 over x cubed. Now, note that before differentiating 1 over x squared was rewritten as x raised to negative 2. Rewriting is the first step in many differentiation problems. So make sure na if there is a negative exponent, or maybe as much as possible kung may denominator, kung pwede naman siyang i-rewrite to the numerator, mas maganda para mas madali. So, katulad nga ito, 1 over x squared, that became x raised to negative 2 bago niya kinuha yung differentiation. The constant multiple rule. The constant multiple rule, if f is differentiable function and c is a number, then c of f is also differentiable. And the derivative of c of f of x is equal to c times f prime x. Ibig sabihin, ilalabas na agad natin yung constant dun sa tabi ng variable. So, 5x cubed will become, getting the derivative of 5x cubed, so d over dx, 5x cubed, nilabas na yung 5. Then, kinuha niya yung derivative ng x cubed, which happened to be 3x squared. Then, multiplying 5 to 3x squared will give us 15x squared. 2 over x. So, 2 over x, rewrite. 2x raised to negative 1, then nilabas si 2. Derivative of x raised to negative 1 is 2 times negative 1 times x raised to negative 2. Since negative 1 plus negative 1, negative 1 minus negative 1 is negative 2. So, final form, negative 2 over x squared. Next is 4t squared over 5. So, ang whole number natin is yung, ang number natin is yung 4 over 5. Then, t squared ang kinuha na ng derivative. So, 4 over 5, derivative of t squared. So, derivative is 2t. So, 4 over 5 times 2t is 8 over 5t. Y is equal to 2 square root of x. 2 times square root of x. So, labas natin si 2. Rewrite na natin. 2x raised to 1 half. Then, labas muna natin si 2. Then, the derivative of x raised to 1 half is 1 half x raised to negative 1 half. So, 2 times 1 half cancel out. Kaya x raised to negative 1 half, or the answer is 1 over x, over square root of x. Next is y is equals to 1 over 2 times cube root of x squared. So, 1 half, ilalabas natin. Then, the derivative is x raised to negative 2 over 3. Then, 1 half times negative 2 over 3 times x raised to negative 5 over 3. So, mula doon, cancel out si 2 sa taas at sa baba. So, 1 over 3 raised to x, 1 over 3 times x raised to 5 over 3. Then, finally, y is equal to negative 3x over 2. So, meron tayong negative 3 over 2, then x. Kinuha yung derivative ni x, which is 1. So, ang sagot is negative 3 over 2. So, that is the constant multiple rule and the power rule can be combined into one rule. The combination rule is cx raised to n. So, cn raised to x, cn x raised to n minus 1. Sum and difference rules. In sum and difference rules, kunin lang natin yung derivative ni, so for example, f of x plus g of x, kunin lang natin yung derivative ni f of x, then add natin sa derivative ni g of x. So, again, with difference rule, kunin natin yung derivative, so f prime x minus the derivative ng g of x, which is g prime x. Example, x cubed minus 4x plus 5, so this is 3x squared minus 4 plus 0, 3x squared minus 4. Ito, so we have negative x to the 4th over 2 plus 3x cubed minus 2x. So dito, pwede nating ilabas na muna si negative 1 half, then get the derivative of x to the 4th. So, check natin. Negative x to the 4th over 2. So, 1 half, then negative 1 half, then x to the 4th. So, mangyayari, negative 1 half times 4, then x cubed. So, 4 over 2 is 2. So, negative 2x cubed. 3x cubed. Multiply 3 times 3 is 9. Then 3 minus 1 is 2. Kaya 9x squared. Then 2x will be 2. Kaya 2 minus 2. We have a 3x squared minus x plus 1 all over x. So, ang ginawa niya, okay, finally with letter C, y is equal to 3x squared minus x plus 1 all over x. So, actually dapat quotient rule. Pero, pwede pa natin i-simplify since 1 lang naman yung nasa dulo. So, nire-write niya, kaya nangyari is 3x. Nabukas na isa. Then, ito is naging 1. Then, 1 over x. So, 3x minus 1 plus 1 over x. So, derivative ng 3x is 3. Derivative ng 1 is 0. Derivative ng 1 over x is 1 over x squared. Kaya 3 minus 1, negative 1 over x squared. Kaya ang derivative is 3 minus 1 over x squared. So, simplify lang. Kaya 3x squared minus 1 all over x squared. So, next, derivative ng sine and cosine. So, simple lang naman to. Derivative ng sine will be cosine x. Derivative ng cosine x is negative sine x. For example, 2 sine x. So, sigad natin si 2. Derivative ng sine is cosine x, kaya 2 cosine x. Sine x over 2, so which can also be written as 1/2 sine x. So, derivative ng sine x is still cosine x, kaya 1/2 cosine x, or cosine x over 2. X plus cosine x. Remember that derivative ng cosine x is negative sine x. So, derivative of x is 1. Derivative of cosine x is negative sine x, kaya 1 minus sine x. Cosine x minus pi over 3 sine x. So, may pi over 3 tayo dito. Dito muna, cosine x will be negative sine x. Yun. Then, pi over 3 sine x, ang derivative is cosine x.